A more than $100 million hotel is on its way to becoming reality.
I think you're going to see this area really start popping in the next couple of years.
So excited to get to this day.
Leaders break ground on the Irving Convention Center Hotel. We are finding out about all of the features and the potential benefit.
We can't rest on our success. We have to keep pushing forward.
Irving has a new police chief, and he is talking about one of his top priorities.
I think it's so cool.
Talented students show off robots and spirit at the Irving Convention Center. And this year's competition has a new twist. Plus the action the city is taking to improve drainage, the addition to Centennial Park, and the announcement of the first acts to perform at the Irving Music Factory. This is City Source. Brad Paisley will be the second performer at the Irving Music Factory, but who will be the first? Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. The answer is coming up later. But we begin with a moment years in the making, the groundbreaking for the Irving Convention Center Hotel. That means construction on the $110 million hotel can now begin. We were there for all of the festivities.
A very exciting day.
It's a red carpet that leads to a tent for now, but all of that is about to change.
You're actually sitting in what will be the lobby of the hotel.
The Westin Irving Convention Center Hotel. Here's an idea of what it will look like, and this is the groundbreaking to start construction.
I think it will be a tremendous amenity in addition to the urban center and to the city, especially to the convention center.
The hotel will offer 350 rooms and sit on this land between the Irving Music Factory and the convention center.
This is a big deal for the city of Irving.
The celebration moved inside the convention center, where people could get souvenir photos and learn more about the features.
That's the lobby.
We'll have a great lobby, a lobby bar, 3-meal restaurant, room service. You can walk across the lobby and get a Starbucks. You can go up to the pool deck and we'll have a great pool bar up there.
Lots of canopies, lots of outdoor space.
It's going to become a destination, and it's going to be well known of what Irving is now offering.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau believes the hotel will draw new groups to the convention center.
We've kept the convention center very, very busy, but we haven't been able to get those true conventions, as many of those true conventions as we wanted, because we didn't have the hotel yet.
In fact, along with tracking the impact of visitors that do come here, the CVB also keeps records on lost business. It figures it has missed out on more than $67 million of impact in Irving.
Those are groups who specifically said, they let us kind of in the tent to bid, but ultimately they chose a place with a headquarter hotel, or a place where they could get everything under one roof.
To capture that business, the city of Irving is a partner in this hotel, investing about $37 million.
The city owns the meeting rooms, and we're building an 840-space parking garage.
In the end, the city will come out well on this project because it will be turning dollars back into the city, and at the very end of the process, we will actually own the hotel itself free and clear.
This is just going to present another opportunity for us to bring more folks into the community that we'll see what a great place we are, and also we'll spend money, which is a good thing.
And with hopes of keeping the hotel and convention center full, the city has already started its sales pitches.
We have lists of people that have told us, as soon as you get the hotel, we'll consider you. We're in Austin about every 6 or 8 weeks, hitting all the Texas associations. We're in Washington, D.C. about every 3 months, targeting the national associations or the international associations that are based there.
And by the time those visitors come, they'll see new additions to this skyline.
It's exciting to see this last piece of this particular puzzle come together. The Convention Center has been open a little over 6 years now. Music Factory is opening Labor Day weekend, and now you add into the mix the hotel, and we can see this 40-acre district complete.
And I can't wait until not just standing on dirt, but standing on carpet or tile or marble or whatever you decide to put in the lobby, that we're here and we're having our ribbon cutting.
That should happen in late 2018. In the meantime, there will be plenty of construction to see.
I can't wait until the equipment has done its job and is gone.
And in its place will be visitors to Irving having fun and spending money. There is also big news from the neighbor of that hotel, the Irving Music Factory. Turns out the first performance won't be music, but comedy. Live Nation announced Dave Chappelle will be the first act to perform when the city-owned complex opens on Friday, September 1st. He will perform in this innovative indoor-outdoor amphitheater called the Pavilion. As you see in this video from Live Nation, the Pavilion can seat 4,000 people indoors, and then the back walls can rise to allow seating of 4,000 more people outdoors. Country singer Brad Paisley will perform on September 2nd. Other acts in the opening weeks include the Goo Goo Dolls, Sin Bandera, Matchbox 20, Scorpions and Megadeth, and Trevor Noah. Tickets are on sale through Live Nation. In other news, Irving has a new police chief.
So, Mayor and Council, I am proud to present to you Mr. Jeff Spivey is my recommendation for your confirming appointment as the City of Irving's next police chief.
And that motion passes unanimously.
The City Council selected Assistant Police Chief Jeff Spivey to lead the department. He has served in Irving since 1986. The day after that council vote, Judge Rodney Adams swore him in at the Criminal Justice Center.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Chief.
I'm so excited, so honored. My head's still spinning a little bit, but I couldn't be happier for our organization and where I see us going in the future.
What makes Jeff Spivey the right choice for police chief?
You know, I think it's his temperament, I think it's professionalism, I think it's his compassion, and I think it's his leadership. He has continuously shown over his long tenure with the city that he loves this community. He has won over the support of this community.
This place is amazing to work for. The men and women who work here, they're all awesome.
And Chief Larry Boyd was beloved in this city. And what they told us was we want to keep him. And we want a person who very much emulates the characteristics of Larry Boyd.
I obviously promoted him to assistant chief because I knew he had something special. And I relied on him all those years that I was chief because of his judgment, because of his passion, his love for the community, his recognition of what policing needs to be and how we need to do our job to serve the community. He had all the total package. I knew when I left as chief that we could do no better. In fact, I've told Jeff, I said, we just upgraded.
And that's what really brings it home, is when you see all of the people who've supported you throughout the years, who've stood beside you, encouraged you, giving you a little kick in the rear end when you wanted to lay down and quit. It truly is emotional to see that support.
What's the first order of business?
Well, I need to sit down and figure out where we go next, because as I said in my speech, the minute you stop trying to improve, you start to deteriorate. And as an organization, we have to constantly be looking to improve. I am so honored to have been selected to lead this great organization. And I look forward to working with each of you to ensure we remain one of the most respected and trusted police organizations in the country. Thank you.
Yeah, and Chief Spivey says that while community outreach has been important in the department for a while, it will be an even bigger priority in the future. New plaques are in place at Founders Plaza in Centennial Park. They will be unveiled at a dedication ceremony in May after all of this installation work is done. The plaques chronicle historical moments in the city. The new plaques are engraved black granite. An artist spent 8 months creating them. They replace metal ones that had become weathered, vandalized, and some were apparently stolen. Again, they will be unveiled in May. The area will be closed until then. We continue our series of reports called Investing in Our Future with a focus on drainage. Turns out all of the growth in the city is bringing some challenges. Construction projects all around the city of Irving are leading to new buildings, new roads, and a growing concern: drainage. There is less uncovered soil to soak up any rain.
As the city gets built up and more concrete gets poured, you get more hard surface, more rooftops, more and more of that water runs off to where you almost, sometimes you get up to as much as 90% of the stormwater runs off. And when you do that, you have to capture it.
The expansion of State Highway 183 created a big challenge.
We were going to wind up putting water closer to people's homes than we ever had before.
That's one of the major reasons behind this work south of the highway. This is the Embassy Channel near Baylor Scott and White Hospital.
With the expansion of 183, we were facing a lot more storm runoff coming down through the central part of southern Irving. And those creeks and channels that were built in the 50s and 60s, they just weren't ready to handle all that drainage coming off the road.
This is what the channel looked like about a year ago. The difference the work is making is clear. Here it is now. Once it's finished this summer, the channel will be several feet deeper. The design of the new walls also adds to the capacity. A big difference is also visible in this area near the Live Oak Bridge. Here it is a year ago, and now.
Instead of having the multiple vertical supports in here, we just have the one, so there'll be a lot less turbulence to the water. And you can also see that we now have the vertical walls instead of the side slopes, which will increase the capacity in the channel.
Crews have also removed other obstructions we saw last year.
This is a utility pole that is in the middle of the channel.
With those things slowing the flow all gone and a larger capacity, homeowners should notice a difference. They will be out of a FEMA 100-year flood zone.
So the property owners that currently have to have flood insurance if they have a mortgage will no longer have that requirement.
Not far away, flooding is something some of these homeowners have experienced.
The neighborhood experienced flooding many times over the years.
They live near the Brockbank Channel, which is currently under construction from Grawweiler Road to State Highway 183. When we visited last year, we could see spots where age and erosion had taken a big toll. Bags of concrete mix were holding up the sides of the channel. Now crews are installing new walls and making this channel deeper.
What you see them doing right here is installing some protective shoring for the property owner next door that has a lot of improvements in his yard that we're trying to protect.
The proximity of homes to all of this work has been one of the biggest challenges for the city. So they have worked to keep homeowners updated.
It is a very complicated project. Not only are we having to make sure it's done safely and it's done correctly, but we don't want to go and tear up everybody's life, for a year and a half, 2 years.
The projects we have shown you are expected to be finished this year, but there is a lot more to do.
All over town, we have improvements that are needed.
That's why the city is starting a drainage assessment.
A lot of these channels haven't been looked at for years and years, so we're wanting to go out and identify areas where concrete channels may be under distress, or we may have some erosion problems.
Teams will be walking the channels to get a close look at the conditions. That will help them prioritize projects.
We don't want a potential major failure where there's property damage or life at stake. So it gives us an opportunity to see what areas we need to concentrate on.
And then we can focus our dollars that we do have left in the best place and the highest need.
The city had to make emergency repairs to the Burn Bray Channel after the concrete buckled and dirt eroded behind it. Private property was at risk of damage.
One of the purposes of this citywide stream bank assessment project we're embarking on is so that we are not going out on an emergency basis. Of course, if you go out on an emergency basis, the costs are usually higher.
Drainage Programs Coordinator Brent Redd works to educate residents on water quality, because what people dump or let run off into channels has a bigger impact than they might expect. He talks about fertilizer, pet waste, and more.
Where does that water go? It doesn't go into a sewer system where it gets filtered and cleaned and put back into our watershed. It runs down our streets and into gutters, and then from there into our drainages, where it eventually ends up into the Trinity River, which is our source of our drinking water and a big source of our recreation.
The city is hoping people will see how everything is connected and how the work crews are doing is making a difference in neighborhoods. Drainage is a subject the capital improvement team will be talking about a lot more in the months ahead as Irving grows and infrastructure ages.
This is not a situation that's isolated to one part of town. It is basically all over town.
Capital Improvement Program Director Casey Tate says there are many more drainage projects needed in Irving, but very limited funding available for them. Election news now. All of the candidates running for mayor and city council participated in ICTN's Open Line Election Special. ICTN produces the program to help inform voters. Look for that on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/The City of Irving. We will also be airing it at various times on ICTN 1 and ICTN 2. The office of mayor and single-member district council places 3 and 5 are up for election. Here are the candidates in the order they will appear on the ballot. For mayor, it's small business owner Christy Weaver Pena, Rick Stouffer, who lists his occupation as retired, doctoral student and consultant Elvia Espino, and J.C. Gonzalez, who is in finance and banking. In single-member district place 3, incumbent Dennis Webb is running unopposed. He is a pastor. In single-member district place 5, J. Oscar Ward is seeking another term. He lists his occupation as retired. Also on the ballot, business owner Abdel El Hassan. In those council races, only registered voters living in their respective districts may vote for the candidates. For mayor, it's a citywide race. Here are some dates to keep in mind. Early voting runs April 24th through May 2nd. Registered voters can vote early at any polling site in Dallas County. DallasCountyVotes.org has the full list of sites. In Irving, the early voting locations are City Hall, the Irving Arts Center, and the Valley Ranch Library. Election Day is May 6th. Election Day polling locations are listed at cityofirving.org/elections. Also, the City Secretary's office can answer election questions. That number is 972-721-2493. Meanwhile, the current council is scheduled to consider a chicken and rooster ordinance during its April 6th meeting. In advance of the vote, committees and city council have been considering the issue and collecting input for about a year and a half. Among the rules in the proposed ordinance, roosters would not be allowed on sites less than 1 acre. 2 roosters would be allowed on 1 acre or more. There are also regulations on coop structure and size. A draft of the full ordinance is available at cityofirving.org. Irving has a program that can help first-time homebuyers. Financial assistance is provided in the form of 0% interest, deferred, forgivable loans. Those funds can help pay for down payment and closing costs of a home in Irving. People interested must first attend an orientation class and meet qualifications set by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Classes are offered monthly. To sign up, call 972-721-4800. There is also more information at cityofirving.org/567. This program, using federal funds, is offered through the city's Planning and Community Development Department. The City of Irving's Parks and Recreation Department is looking for lifeguards. Every spring, the aquatics team starts hiring people to work through the summer at the city's pools and aquatic centers. In addition to those seasonal spots, there are sometimes permanent jobs available. Applicants must be at least 16 years old and have a current American Red Cross lifeguard certificate. Applications are available on the city website, and Aquatic Supervisor Lynn Harper has more information at 972-721-2718. I think our City Source crew would agree that the event in this next story is one of the most fun things we cover at the Convention Center each year. It's the robotics competition called FIRST, and it's not only about building robots, but also developing career skills and showing spirit. This year, there were some twists. Check them out.
So FIRST Robotics is an actual acronym. It stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. We have 54 teams literally from all over the world, most from North Texas, and it's the only one in the world that has programs from K all the way through 12.
The experience of FIRST is most important for me.
A lot of us are familiar with the acronym STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Math. FIRST added the A, so it's Science, Technology, Engineering, the Arts, and Math.
I like the theme.
The theme is actually really cool.
It's really interesting seeing the intersection between science and technology.
Being able to use that and incorporate it into all of the other components of STEM, I feel like that's a major part.
But then they introduce art into it.
Yeah, I think it's the ruffles that give me the confidence.
It's interesting that now FRC is kind of like implementing the same things our team was already trying to implement.
The theme of the game, it's more difficult, yeah. It's more challenging.
So it's kind of like changing the game, and I think it's fun and interesting.
We were really excited to dress up. It's been a lot of fun meeting everybody.
First Saturday in January, Our teams found out what this year's competition is going to be.
Welcome to the first robotics competition and the 2017 game, First Steamworks! 2 adventurer clubs, alliances of 3 teams each, prepare for a long-distance airship race by collecting fuel to build steam pressure, installing gears to engage rotors, and climbing aboard for liftoff.
I think it's so cool.
So it's a new game every year. It's a new rule book, a new ways to score. It would be like reinventing the game of baseball every year.
It's been a lot of work, a lot of late nights. The course looks really good.
In Steamworks, these teams are loading energy balls. They have to load them in the bottom, shoot through the top, and then they have to take gears to a airship that's missing some gears.
We're focusing on gears.
A robot climbs or hangs.
And then in the last 30 seconds, after all that work that those robots have been doing, they have the opportunity to climb on board the airships.
I believe in our team. We can do it. I believe in our team. That's our spirit.
It's pretty impressive to see how well these kids work together.
We're all helping each other.
Some of these teams have up to 100 students, and they all have a responsibility on their teams.
When we start here, like with teamwork, everything works better.
The team that you're playing against in this match, next match you may be playing alongside of them.
You're supposed to be like friendly and be professional and everything, but it's actually done here. So like you actually need something. Everybody's nice, like regardless of how they feel about their robot. I really like that part of it.
So our rookie teams will typically come in with the deer in the headlight look, and our veteran teams that have been around for years will come alongside of them and help them.
Basically helping each other whenever we need them.
Since we're from Chile, we can like bring all the stuff that we need, so we can borrow them.
The challenge is we're growing. Now UIL is sanctioned first in robotics as an official program for the state of Texas. So these teams eventually will be playing to go to a state championship and then to the world championship. But what FIRST wants to do is really inspire and recognize students that are wanting to go into the science and engineering.
FIRST has so many intangible skills with it, which it gives you, such as leadership, entrepreneurship, pitching skills, interpersonal skills, etc.
It's kids being cheered on for their interest in engineering and science and technology.
Our school doesn't have football or any of the sports. It's what we have is robotics.
Everyone is so free here. No one feels embarrassed of doing what they like.
FIRST alumni will be so much more prepared than all the others out there because we'll be able to connect with people and know how to work in a team much better than anyone else will. FIRST is giving us both so much and giving the whole community so much, and we both love it.
And here's what else is coming up at the Convention Center. April 7th through 9th is one for knitters and crafters called DFW Fiber Fest. April 25th is Breakfast with the Stars, which recognizes bright students. April 27th is a homebuyer seminar. For ticket prices and a full listing of public events, visit irvingconventioncenter.com. Springtime is always busy for special events, and we have a few to highlight. More than 20,000 eggs will be available for kids age 10 and younger at the citywide Egg Hunt. The Easter Bunny, a petting zoo, and crafts are among the attractions. It's on April 8th, starting at 9:30 a.m. There are different hunts for each age group, so for the specifics, check out irvingevents.org. The celebration of culture and art known as Canal Fest is set to return to the Las Colinas Urban Center. People will have the chance to enjoy food, music, and more along the Mandalay Canal. The event is free to get in, but parking in the area runs $10. Canal Fest is Saturday, April 22nd from 2 until 8 p.m. The AT&T Byron Nelson will have its final tournament in Irving this May, and we'll have a preview on the next City Source. Also, the Irving Marathon draws a crowd of determined runners to the Las Colinas Urban Center. Hear from some of them next time. Plus, coverage of Pet Palooza, an event that celebrates the anniversary of the Animal Care Campus. It's also a great chance to see some cute animals. Email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. We may read some of your messages here on the show, or you can always comment on our videos at youtube.com/thecityofirving. And how about subscribing to our channel while you're there? And that's it for this edition of City Source. We leave you now with some sure signs of spring, bluebonnets in the Las Colinas Urban Center. Thanks to everyone who was a part of this one, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.